Hello everyone, welcome to today's session on knowledge representation techniques in artificial intelligence. I am Professor Monika Raghuvanshi and today we will explore how knowledge is represented in AI systems so that machines can think, reason and make decisions just like humans. Let's start with the basics. Knowledge representation is the process of showing real world information in a structured form that a computer can understand and use to make decisions. Just like we humans use knowledge to think and reason, machines also need knowledge to act intelligently. For example, when we tell a computer two facts, all humans are mortal. Socrates is a human. Using this knowledge, the computer can reason and conclude that Socrates is mortal. This simple example shows how AI systems use represented knowledge to make logical decisions. So, in short, knowledge representation, that is KR, helps machines mimic human understanding, reasoning, and learning. And it forms the foundation of artificial intelligence for smart decision making and problem solving, as shown in the diagram. Now, let's discuss the different techniques used for representing knowledge. There are several popular methods as shown in the figure: logical representation, prediction rule, semantic networks, frames, and script. Let's understand them one by one. Logical representation. This is one of the most fundamental ways to represent knowledge. It uses formal logic to represent facts and relationships. There are two main types of logical representation. First, proposition logic. It deals with simple true or false statements. Next is predicate logic, which expresses relations between objects using variables and quantifiers. Let's go each of them with example. First, proposition logic. This is one of the most fundamental ways to represent knowledge. It uses formal logic to represent facts and relationships. In propositional logic, statements are either true or false, nothing in between. For example, let's take it is raining and Q, the ground is wet. We can write this as P implies Q, which means if it is raining, then the ground is wet. Simply, the implication symbol represent if and then. Each proposition has a truth table, either true or false. Now, let's understand predicate logic, one of the most important knowledge representation technique in artificial intelligence. It is a symbolic representation of facts and relationship that is more expressive than propositional logic. It allows us to describe objects, their properties, and their relations among them. A typical predicate logic statement has this structure. Predicate predicate that will be outside, and in bracket terms will be represented, term 1 and term 2, where the predicate shows the relationship and the terms represent the objects. Predicate logic also uses quantifiers to express general or specific facts. Quantifiers, these are of two types: universal quantifier, that is represented by for all, and existential quantifier, that is represented by there exists symbol, that we will understand from the example that is present in the next slide. So predicate logic helps AI systems reason about the world in a structured and human-like way. So there are key components of first order predicate logic, that is FOL. You can think of predicate logic as made up of constants like dog and bones, variables like x, y, predicates that is representing properties or relations, quantifiers as we have read earlier like for all and there exist. For example, dog likes bone can be written as likes, that is a predicate, and in bracket dog, bones, which means there is a relationship likes between the objects. Dog and bone, and like is acting as a predicate between them. Next example, all humans are mortal. So all that is representing universal quantifier that is represented as for all x. Human of x is connected by implication symbol mortal of x. There exists a student who studies AI. So there is exist is a quantifier. There exists x. Student of x and studies is a predicate that is connected by two terms x comma AI. So this allows AI to reason about relationships and categories more effectively than propositional logic. I hope it's clear to you all. Now, let's talk about production rules, another important way to represent knowledge in artificial intelligence. Production rules are conditional statements that express knowledge in the form of if-then rules. They help AI systems make decisions automatically based on given conditions. In simple words, the if part represents a condition and then part represents an action that should be taken when the condition is true. I hope from the diagram it's clear to you all. For example, if temperature is greater than 100 degrees centigrade, then water is boiling. Next is if it is night, then turn on street lights. Each production rule is made up of a condition action pair. That means when a condition is satisfied, the system performs the corresponding action. Production rules are widely used in rule-based systems and expert systems, where computers uses a collection of such rules to mimic human decision making. So in short, production rules are like the thinking steps of an AI system, helping it decide what to do when certain conditions occur. Now, let's understand semantic network, another powerful knowledge representation technique in artificial intelligence. A semantic network is a graph-based model used to represent knowledge. In this model, objects are shown as nodes and the relationship between them are shown as edges or links. This helps AI systems represent and reason how different concepts are connected, just like humans link ideas in their minds. Semantic networks are widely used in natural language processing, reasoning, and understanding meaning from data. They also support inheritance, which means that properties of one object can be passed down to others. For example, as shown in the figures, we can represent knowledge like this. Pretty is a bird, bird is an animal, bird can fly, animal has skin. From this, system can infer that Tweety is an animal and Tweety can fly. From the diagram, it's clear to you all. So a semantic network helps AI connect and reason through knowledge just like a web of ideas. Next, let's understand frames, another important knowledge representation technique in artificial intelligence. A frame is a data structure used to represent knowledge about objects, events, or situations. It organizes information into slots and values, where each slot represents an attribute and each value contains either data or a link to another frame. You can think of a frame like an object in object-oriented programming, where each frame stores details about something, such as its properties and relationships. Frames also support inheritance, which means that child frames inherit properties from parent frame. From the example, it will be clear. A frame named college might have slots like classroom, departments, faculty, auditorium, library, and laboratory. A child frame classroom can inherit these properties and add its own, such as number of students, number of branches, and we can add more if required. So frames helps AI represent structured knowledge efficiently, making it easier for systems to understand and reason about the world, just like how we humans organize our knowledge. Now, let's understand another important representation technique called a script. A script is a structured representation of a sequence of events or actions that occur in a specific context. It helps artificial intelligence systems understand common situations and predict what usually happens next. Scripts are very useful in areas like story understanding, event prediction, and natural language processing because they give machines the ability to use common sense reasoning just like humans do. Now, every script has some main components, roles. These are the people or objects involved in the situations. Props, the physical objects that is used in the scene. And the conditions, what must be true before the script starts. Results, what happens after the script ends. Track, the specific instance or setting of the script. Scenes, the sequence of actions or events that occur. For example, we need to write a script for going to a restaurant. Let's see how it works. So, who will play all these roles? So, owner, customer, waiter, and cashier. Props will be food, tables, menu, money. Entry conditions. So, there will be three entry conditions. Country customer is hungry, customer has money, owner has food. So, the result must be satisfied. Customer is not hungry anymore. Customer has less money. Owner has less food. Track will be the restaurant and the scenes. Scenes will be entering into the restaurant, ordering the food, eating the food, paying the bill, and then leaving the restaurant. This is how AI can represent and understand a real life event like dining at a restaurant step by step, just like we do. So, to summarize, a script helps AI remember and predict what normally happens in everyday situations, enabling it to understand stories, conversations, and human behavior more intelligently. Now, let's discuss some problems in representing knowledge in artificial intelligence. When we represent knowledge for AI systems, there are several challenges we face. Let's look at a few important ones. First, identifying important attributes. We must decide which features or properties of an object are really important to represent. For example, when representing a car, do we include color, speed, or owner? Choosing the right attribute is difficult. Next, understanding relationships among attributes. Objects often have many related features and understanding how they connect, like depending on engine power, is not always simple. Next, choosing the right regulatory label. We must decide how detailed the representation should be. Too much detail makes it complex and too little may make it incomplete. Next, representing set of objects efficiently. AI systems often deal with groups or categories of things, not just single objects, and managing that efficiently is a big challenge. Finally, selecting the best structure like logic trees or semantic network depends on the type of knowledge and how it will be used. So, let's conclude. Representing knowledge is not just about storing facts, but also about organizing them in a meaningful and efficient way for reasoning and decision. To summarize, knowledge representation is the heart of AI. It helps machines store, process, and reason with information just like humans do. By combining different techniques like propositional logic, rules, semantic network, frames, and a script, we can build AI systems that make smart and meaningful decisions. Thank you.